since it's velvet, now I might have to bring this up just a little bit. I just wanted to show you what I've been up to. I went and did a thing. I got myself a cinch because I've been watching, let me zoom out a little bit. I've been watching a creator on Instagram, and she does these wonderful little books, and I am so in love with them that I had to get myself a cinch. And so I, of course, didn't read the directions, but I just dug right in. And the learning curve isn't too bad. I went ahead and put two books together. This one is my prototype. This was my first one. I cinched it a little too tight, but that's okay. This, it's funny because after I cinched it, I remembered that I didn't put a cover on it. But I used 49 on Market, which is really thick, so you can call this a cover. So this is kind of what to do and what not to do. But I wanted to take you through what I did for these. So I just wanted to do kind of a center thing here. I didn't want to go the whole length. And there's just there's like a quick start guide in there, so I just kind of followed that. And it was easy to figure out, you know, where to cut these things, the metal binding things, whatever, coils, I guess. So I went and found a whole bunch of stuff in my stash. I will tell you what this is, because I don't think I recorded this. This is really cool. There is a maker. Did I find her on YouTube? And she had a little tutorial about making fake wallpaper. And this is like the coolest thing. You use construction paper, and she even gave a link on Etsy, or not Etsy, Amazon, to this like beigey color construction paper. It's like really super cheap. Use whatever. Super, you know, just thin construction paper. And then use your napkins, and then decoupage them on. And after they dry, they feel and look just like vintage wallpaper. How cool is that? So I just folded it and put it in. So let me just take you real quick through what I use. This is my homemade paper. I just stuck it in there. This is just a real old piece from a magazine. See, you can tell that I cinched it too tight because it's not a real easy flip. Although, you know, in some places it is. So, and this is not fully done. Like I said, this is kind of my prototype. Now this, I think I'm going to keep like this so that you can actually write on the back of that. And then you can put journaling cards in there. I've got just, you know, a whole bunch of like old magazine pages, book pages. This is just some cool paper. I was thinking I'd put a couple pockets in here. I actually like this very much, how this turned out. I may even put it on my Etsy. I just think it's kind of cool. So a lot of this stuff is scraps. This is definitely a scrap. This was a scrap that I had from an old magazine. This is just, you know, some of that. You know, you can go into a craft store and get like a pound of, you know, cut off paper. That's what that was from. This is like the end of a book. You know, the fronts and the ends of the books that you can tear out. So that's what that is. It feels really good, soft. This is just a, like a glassine bag that I got in a big pile of things. This is like a real old, I don't know, an ephemera thing that you would get back when I was scrapbooking or something. I just decided to put a couple holes in it and put it in here. There's this. I was thinking I would just make this kind of a tuck, you know, just glue that and then tuck something in. This is from an old children's book. It wasn't that old. I coffee dyed it so to make it look old. Another piece of my handmade paper. These are just, you know, some of these little doodads you can get from Temu. This is just a pack of, a small pack of paper that I used to get scrapbooking. Just from an old book. Another book. This is an old bingo card. From another old book. Another one of those papers. This was too tall, so I just folded it over. Just makes some kind of interest. And then another piece of the 49 and Market. So isn't that cute? So like I said, I was going to add like some pockets and things, journaling cards in there, and call it a day. You know, sell it pretty cheap on Etsy, I guess you could do. Just for something to carry around or whatever. Now this one I just finished putting together today. Now here is what not to do when you're first making your, oh, I forgot to curl these in. You want to curl these in so that you don't get hurt. And I guess so that it doesn't come off. I actually pinched these to the right level here. Or maybe go a little bit less there. But so I decided I want to do something cool and do like 3 and 3. And I love how that turned out. I had taken an old book apart for the covers. Love that. Oh, there's just things that I want to put in as just, you know, some just stuff to put in there. But here's what I did. So I only set my cinch to 3 holes. So I did 3 holes, and then what I did was I flipped it over and cut the other 3. Great for the cover. And then I put a whole bunch of papers together, and I did the same thing. And it worked great because I had lined all of these up with this, so that I put them in and, you know, cut, and then flipped over and cut. Perfect. But then when I got to about here, I just started adding pages and thought, well, I can just put it in and cut, flip it over and cut. Well, no, you can't, because you don't have it against this anymore. So you're not lining it up perfectly against this. And so you will see that on some of these I have some washi tape because I had to cover up old holes because they didn't fit right. And so live and learn. But the way I look at it is I have some extra protection here. So, and a little bit of interest. So that's kind of cool. So yeah, I'm good. These are going to end up being like journal cards and stuff just to put in here. May do something here or may not. I don't know. But I really like how this one turned out. It's a lot thicker. So I've got some Dick and Jane book stuff. This is also from the same book that I took, the children's book thing. Because this is a children's book, I tried to stay with mostly children's stuff. So, and bright things. And if I used old things, I tried to go with children's themes. So this is like an old workbook kind of thing, you know, teaching children things. So that's what I did here. Old stories and stuff. I will probably glue this, but I don't know for a fact. I use some of my coffee dyed paper, so for writing. Some of these are like workbooks from school, maybe. Some more Dick and Jane stuff. This is like an old Boy Scout kind of thing. Just some pretty pictures. This is from another kids learning kind of book. This was like an Alice in Wonderland. No. Dorothy. Yeah. Dick and Jane. More coffee dyed stuff. This, because it depicts children, it's just an old magazine. Just some bright color stuff. And again, you know, paper to... And this is like, you know, teaching young children words and things. This is just an envelope I stuck in here that, you know, you could put maybe something like that in. just an old magazine page or whatever. More colors, recipe things. More bright colors. Another story thing. More writing pages, birds, the tortoise and the hare. Writing pages, a little postcard that was colorful. More Dick and Jane stuff. Colorful stuff. Writing page, a real old magazine, 1872. See what I mean? If you get this too tight, that's what you're going to have to do to get it to really loosen up. Writing paper, some more colorful things, and some writing paper. And I love the little boy at the end. I just think that's a cute picture. And there's that put together. So that's what I've been up to lately, just doing these things. And then I think the next thing that I'm going to do is a regular journal, maybe a tall skinny, and you know, get my mojo back. But the next video you'll see is probably some haul stuff, because I've gotten some things in and I wanted to show you that. But I did want to just, you know, kind of show you what I've been up to here, and yeah, pique your interest, I guess. So thank you for sticking with me all this time. I know that I have not been frequent with all of my videos, but I'm hoping to get back to that. The weather's starting to get nicer. So, you know, things are looking up. I'm smiling again a little bit. Now the spring is finally here. So thank you for tuning in, for hitting like and subscribing. I appreciate it, and I appreciate you. Have a great day. Bye.